21 Savage 12 times. He said his name 12 times. He must.
Who's this song by?
Huh?
Who's this song by? He said his name 27 times, but who is this?
No.
That's any rap song. When they say their name and then they say either their area code or the city they're in, like, and then their social security number, and just give away all this stuff to attempt to be famous and have that one hit.
Come find me at my mom's. Well, that's a funny thing about the address with rappers, because that's how Pop Smoke died. He put a picture of a package, didn't block out the address.
And he got swatted?
And the killers found him and killed him.
I thought it was going to be like some Paperboy shit. They're just like, knock on his door. Paperboy live here? All right, cool.
Not Atlanta. Not like Atlanta.
I just watched a movie with him in it, Woman in the Window on Netflix.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah, it was a solid movie. It was on my list, like, before. I didn't know what was happening to these movies that were supposed to come out last year.
Yeah. He's in the new King Kong versus Godzilla movie too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that.
Oh yeah, that was that wasn't bad, but the only thing was like I hated how it was like all of a sudden this little girl can talk to King Kong. Like, what's up with that? Like,
but did she talk like a person, or was it like ooh?
It was sign language.
Sign language.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
yeah.
Of the kid was she's part of the native people who pretend like
I know the story. I know the story, Mike. I saw the movie, but
I'm trying to explain. It sounded like Jeff wasn't going to see it, so I was explaining.
No, I'm not going to see it, and I don't think Gordy is either. Hi, Gordy.
Hi, Gordy.
Gordy already saw it.
Gordy, gotta say, Gordy not seeing a monster movie? You crazy?
Yeah, he's up there on the big screen himself.
He probably was like, "This is my chance to get a handy in the movie theater," and he probably went to the movie theater.
The Chappelle's Greatest Hookups thing.
Popcorn. That's the signature movie. Put the popcorn on your dick.
Doesn't it get all buttery then?
No,
it's lubed up naturally there.
Yeah. You could slide it in later.
Plus, like, she can't complain about blowing you. Your dick's gonna taste like butter.
At that point, if she's sucking your dick between popcorn, like, I don't think there's any, like, I think the cat's out of the bag. Like, let's just keep going. Like,
all rules are off.
There's no in between in this. Like, it's you're sucking my dick at a movie theater through popcorn. Like, I don't think there's a limit for this girl, whoever this girl is.
I mean, I feel like, why have the popcorn then if you're gonna get blowjob in the theater? Like, just
why go to a movie? Just go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good point. If COVID just saw us saying.
It's kind of like having sex on an airplane. Like, it's a bucket list thing. Like, you just say.
Yeah, but I mean, after high school, like, or college at the latest, hasn't everyone hit that?
I'm not saying do it like now. I'm saying like when you were in high school, do it. Like in high school, like I bet you that was all the rage. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So you go in the back corner so no one can see.
But exactly. And I never understood the popcorn premise, but the premise of the popcorn, I guess, is to have food in between to help her like have stamina.
Well, then it doesn't look like she's jerking you off if she's reaching. Though, I mean, it would look like she's jerking you off at some point. Like, who's constantly going like this in a bag of popcorn? Like,
at one moment, like when they ask for your tickets, she pops her head up from your cock.
But
what movie theater do you go that asks for tickets in the middle of the movie?
The movie theater is so fucking long. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Popcorn's not that nutritional either. It's not like it's like a bucket of Cliff Bars or something. Like, keep it going.
And you're putting a hole in my logic with like how she could have stamina after the popcorn.
That's the thing. After I have a bucket of popcorn, I'm just hanging. I just want to take a nap, maybe. Usually I do fall asleep in movies because I'm drinking beers. So
maybe
it's kind of ruined the popcorn though too in that situation.
Like, yeah, that's true.
Then it just becomes all hers.
Free refills usually.
Yeah, but do you want refills in that bucket? Especially with the hole in the bottom, it's all just gonna fall through.
person at the front desk is like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's why for you high school kids, bring like a thing of duct tape or something to put on the bottom when you get your free refill so it doesn't all fall through.
Why is your bucket?
That's a 5-holders life hack right there.
Yeah.
What? Put the butter underneath?
No, you gotta bring duct tape to cover the hole so you can get a refill. So it doesn't fall out the hole at the bottom.
Why don't you just bring another bucket for the actual popcorn?
That's a good point, too. Now you're poking holes in my logic, so I don't know what's going on here.
Because I tried the Dave & Buster's card from Falls Church at the one in Morgantown. Try this TGI Fridays up the street.
That's when you were saying, like a plane in a movie theater. It's like Frank when he's like, I want to join the Air Sex Society or whatever he calls it. And he's like, they do like the ladies' bogs trip, and he's like, I'm posted up in here. It's like lambs to the slaughter. He's in the airplane bathroom.
The fact that Frank said lambs to a slaughter when he's just in the bathroom ready to get topped off is the best moment I think I could ever imagine in Always Sunny.
It's pretty great.
I don't know. There's some good ones in there.
Like, me, Zach, and Eric have talked about this when we used to work at BSI, like, our favorite episodes, and we keep changing every time. Like, we can't pick a favorite episode.
Speaking of Always Sunny, the season 15 production has begun. The boys are back on set, so...
Have you guys been watching Mythic Quest?
I have not.
Pretty solid, too.
Yeah?
Good show.
Snoop was in the last episode.
Did you? I saw Rob McElhenney or whatever. He was on Jimmy Kimmel, and he came out, and him and Jimmy Kimmel were doing shots. It was Cinco de Mayo, and they were talking about Snoop Dogg being on set. And Rob McElhenney said Snoop Dogg came up to him. It was like 7 a.m. He's like, "You want to smoke?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "If Snoop Dogg asks you to smoke, you say yeah, of course."
Yeah, exactly.
So they went back to his van, and Rob was like, "Well, since it's COVID, we didn't share a joint, so I have my own joint." And he was like. And it was 7:30 by the time we finished, and I had a whole whole day of shooting because he's like a producer on that. So he said later that day he had a budget meeting later that day with the studio, and he was like, "I'm fucking blazed." And but you can't say no. Snoop Dogg asks you to smoke, you're smoking.
So
that's what Eddie said too.
You guys ever see a video of him at a concert? I don't know if it was his concert. He's just smoking and he's passing the blunt to a legit police officer. And the police officer literally shrugs his shoulder and takes it and smokes it. And
I have seen that one.
I was like, if that doesn't prove to me like Snoop Dogg could make anyone smoke, I don't know what can. Because it's literally a police officer.
Can't make anyone. I'm sure there's people who won't smoke even if it's Snoop Dogg. Because they probably don't know who he is. And would see him offering them something and would run away or freak out.
I guess if you know who Snoop Dogg is and you know what he's about, usually you're going to do it there.
Wait, who would not know who Snoop... Wait, Jeff, you broke up. Who wouldn't know who Snoop Dogg is?
I didn't say anyone specifically. I don't know people who don't know who Snoop Dogg is, but I guarantee you there's people who don't know who he is.
Some section of human doesn't know who...
I could think of some groups of people. Some groups of... Yeah.
He does live in Pittsburgh, so maybe there's some far out places there in Pennsylvania that they don't like Snoop Dogg, they don't know Snoop Dogg, and they wouldn't appreciate a Snoop Dogg.
You're talking about the Amish.
Yeah, I'm sure like the Trumpsters don't like
Snoop Dogg. Not the Amish. The Amish.
We're not saying don't like. I didn't say don't like. You could like or hate him. I'm just saying.
Don't know him.
Oh, don't know him? Yeah, there's old people.
But he came out in like the 80s, 90s.
So there's people who don't like. I don't know any of these country musicians. I don't listen to country. It's shit.
Wait.
So like,
Elvis Presley is.
Who?
Okay.
No, like you cut out. I didn't hear who you said.
Oh, you know who Elvis Presley is, but that's not your demographic of music.
But I mean, is Elvis country? I thought he was rock and roll and the devil's music with swinging his hips.
My point is, yeah, country I get, but like, we're
I don't know random rappers too. Like, I mean, I listen to older stuff, but yeah, all these ASAPs and people with random letters and numbers in their name.
You do
if it
know.
wasn't for that guy going to prison or whatever, I would have never known. Is the one with all the different colored hairs?
And he still doesn't know his name.
With the dead guy that like extension guy and something 6'9" or whatever.
You rounded the circle. You're right there, Jeff.
Yeah.
But see, you know metal though, and a lot like I know punk and like older hip hop, so I know that. You know metal, Schnooty.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
But you guys both know a country music star. You 100% do because you know.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that there's ones that are well known in the country community, or like if you turn on a country station and it's like I have no clue who that person is.
Okay, let's flip this question then. If Willie Nelson asked you to smoke, you're smoking.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. But Willie and I guess that's where Snoop crosses that line of it has nothing to do with the music. I don't think I've ever heard a Willie song, but like the guy stands for weed in my mind, the way that like Cheech and Chong stand for weed, like
and like how Snoop Dogg stands for weed.
Yeah, exactly. It transcends whatever their art is, as they're someone fighting for that.
Wow, man.
The best movie jokes of all time at the end of the year.
Is that being a beer fest with Willie Nelson?
Well, he's the end credits because they said they're gonna make a weed fest.
That's right.
He goes, "Hey, you guys ever hear the joke about the dad and the son having a conversation? The dad says, 'Hey, son, you should stop masturbating. You'll go blind.' And he goes, 'Dad, I'm over here.'" I'm like, what a guy Willie Nelson is.
It's a classic.
I mean, he smoked weed on the roof of the White House with the president. Like, come on, that's pretty awesome. While it was not legal in any state at that point.
Which president was that?
Probably.
I've never heard that story.
Since what, like Teddy Roosevelt would be my guess is when he was born.
I think it was a Grover maybe.
He's one of those people that just like has always looked old, and maybe it's because I've never seen any pictures of him when he's younger. But I assume like Morgan Freeman. Can you think of young Morgan Freeman? And even when he was younger, he still looked old, not as gray.
You've seen a younger picture of Morgan Freeman. I've only seen him decrepit.
I think seven is the youngest I've seen him. But that still was the 90s. So it was like early.
Exactly. Yeah. He doesn't have any gray hair in that, and I don't know if he was using Just for Men or what, but yeah.
Well, Morgan Freeman was like he was back in like the I guess 60s, 70s, and around that time he was big into like the civil rights movement. So I don't think he was acting around that time.
Okay.
And so I think he's more, but I don't know. I don't know exactly when he was doing that. But yeah, you don't see him in earlier stuff.
Yeah.
And if you did, it'd be like, I don't know who that is.
And like when you think of these people, I think everyone is gonna go to the old Willie, the old, even if they did for some reason know what this person looked like when they were younger.
I would say the same thing. Like I don't think like I've seen younger pictures of Willie Nelson at least. I don't know about. Like, if you told me Morgan Freeman was on a show, like, back in the I probably wouldn't know. It's kind of like that Levitz kid on the Roseanne. I never knew he was on Roseanne. Or not Roseanne. It was, he was on one of those sitcoms, and then, like, he was really, really young.
Who?
Gordon Levitz or whatever his name is.
Oh, Third Rock.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he still kind of looked the same. Like, I mean,
that was like a...
I feel like that's kind of more where I remember him from, even though I hated that show. Like... He's just that gangly looking fucker.
He just looks like a 90s kid with like it's just that 90s style. Like the same thing with the Home Improvement kids. Like they all look the same throughout all their years. Like they never really grew up.
I feel like one of them changed dramatically, or maybe I'm just thinking of like Even Stevens with like beans or whatever. One of those kids looks like got like the gauges in the ears and like a bunch of like looks so crazy now.
Terrible now. Like he's like that Bold Spice commercial where he's the dog and he takes the head off, and I'm like, that's Beans. That dude looks gross.
Yeah, it ain't right. Yeah, but he was like 30 during Even Stevens too. He was like one of those people who was like looked young but was old, I believe.
Like Andy Milonakis.
Yeah. Was he the kid who's also in Kicking and Screaming? Yeah, he was. You ever see that Will Ferrell movie, Kicking and Screaming?
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Great movie.
Had such a great cast.
Definitely underrated.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was so good.
Because yeah,
it was just Will Ferrell.
Like Will Ferrell movies. That's definitely not one of the ones that pops into your head right away.
I mean, it's Will Ferrell and his dad's Robert Duvall, and their nemesis,
It's
Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka, yeah.
The dick. My man just says, nobody's smoking. And then
Oh, yeah. I told him it's a nasty habit. He shouldn't be doing it.
yeah,
Will Ferrell dresses up like him at one point, too, with the best.
Yeah.
dude his wife comes in, he just blames it on Phil. He's like, oh, Phil, we don't smoke in the house. Dude, that's low-key, like, you might not think of that movie, like, as Will Ferrell's, like if you think of Will Ferrell, but it is up there for, like, it didn't really miss. Like, it's on, I'll watch it.
I could watch, yeah.
I feel like another one like that's The Other Guys, too.
Yeah.
It's a solid movie through and through, but yeah, when you think of Will Ferrell, those aren't the, like, first movies or even, like, top 3 that come into your head.
What?
Kicking and Screaming would be in my top 3 though, because that shit is like it's low key funny, but the whole movie is funny. Like, and I think what makes it is the interaction of him and the kids.
Yeah,
because it's just like so stupid
when they
like
make the super kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Superhuman, and they actually fucking do it.
Beyond Son.
Beyond Son, Andrew or whatever is fucking.
Yeah.
Just a name for a huge kid. Like, they knew he was gonna be huge.
Like Anders or something shit like that. Yeah.
It's just the best that coffee was the thing that fueled his anger. Like, it was just like, he's just like, in Italian houses, they have a fucking coffee press in every room. He didn't say fucking because it's PG, but I added fucking.
I think it's PG-13.
Yeah, maybe PG-13.
I think that's what made it even better too. Is like he was able to do all the stuff like like you said, under like low key under the radar and shit. Like he didn't have to curse at all in it, and still somehow made it a great movie.
So I think I know what the top 3 movies of his, like, if people were like Will Ferrell, one has to be Anchorman, right? I would assume Anchorman.
Right.
Yeah.
Old School would be up there.
Old School.
You put Old School. I was gonna say Night at the Roxbury's and Step Brothers.
Oh damn!
Definitely. I've never actually seen Night at the Roxbury's.
It's so good.
So much, like, that's the movie. You know what I'm talking about? Like, Jim Carrey had I didn't think The Mask was that good, but that's like Jim Carrey's like coming out party, and so everybody calls that his best, like one of his top 3. Like, you've got to put The Mask. You know what I'm talking about?
It's like you were saying though, with like when I think of Night at the Roxbury, I don't think of Will Ferrell. Because it was like younger Will Ferrell, you know. I think when I think Will Ferrell, I think Step Brothers, Old School, that whole area, that whole time period.
Now,
but Night at the Roxbury, dude, is so good. Holy shit, yeah.
If I put like my top 3 Will Ferrell movies, it'd definitely be Anchorman in there, Old School, and then I don't know. He's just had some great flicks that I just sit there and watch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really like the new movies he's been putting out. Like The Other Guys was good. Get Hard with Kevin Hart was kind of lame, but
I don't think I ever saw
Zoolander. He's Mugatu in Zoolander.
Yeah. He had a bit role in it, but his company producer, and I just rewatched it recently, was The Goods, which is a pretty fucking solid movie. With it's Ari.
I know who you're talking about. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah. Just they're all in the hotel. They're all just keep putting on porn. the black guy goes and puts on Dawson's Creek. He's like, James Van Der Beek, my guy.
The best is he had that fucking talk with the what was it, the stewardess, and he's all about smoking. It's only about smoking. Next thing you know, it's a fucking casino up there. It's like
showing. Like, see this? What this is? Because you know how the old planes used to have the cigarette things just welded shut or whatever.
Yeah.
In there, he's like, this is remnants of the better time. When we be able to smoke on cigarettes, we put a man on the moon.
So wait, is that the movie about the used car salesman guy?
Yeah.
I have seen that. I love about the movie was fucking what's his name? The dude who's the DJ. He's Daryl from The Office.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm gonna play whatever the fuck I want up here. Yeah.
Hey, he plays something uplifting. Dead buddies.
Like,
you know,
doing the speech, he's like, they had an army guy and an Asian guy. He's like, we're gonna take this like how they took over when we bombed Japan after Pearl Harbor. And the army guy looks straight at the Asian dude, and the Asian dude's like,
Yeah, never again.
And the Asian dude from Hangover, the Mr. Chow.
Or whatever, yeah.
Dude, that guy's talented, by the way. Like, not to change the subject, but that Mr. Chow guy was a doctor. And he was
He's a brain surgeon, yeah.
And I don't think he like had any acting stuff. I actually just watched the Danny Trejo documentary, which was like the same way. Where I mean, he just had life training type of stuff, being in prison and shit, and just got like offered
just learn,
and then just fucking worked his way through it.
But you would never know. He's like one of the nicest guys. Like I've heard a couple of interviews with Danny. Like you would never know. Like you never would have guessed like he was a hardcore like in jail guy. Like and he talked, like I went to jail, blah blah blah. I didn't let it define me and all this shit. And I'm like, cool. I was like, this guy's pretty awesome.
I love how he was like talking about when he was on Desperado and he goes up to Selma Hayek and he goes and rips open his shirt and he's like, I knew you before I knew you. Like this tattoo was of you. Like it's like pick out 2 banks, I'll rob them for you.
Isn't it the Senorita tattoo that he got of her shit?
Yeah, he's like everyone's got like pictures of like family where he's like I wanted a woman. Like
You know, from that list of Will Ferrell, I gotta go back to it real quick here.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot, which is another movie that stands up and is just good through and through, Talladega Nights.
Dude,
yes, that is a phenomenal movie.
Because I didn't know which one would be my third. That's my third. I can quote that movie without even like a blink.
And I
so
feel like that
good.
was my first like real introduction to John C. Reilly too.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He's like,
and
marriage was on the rocks. He's like, no, I'm just finding this out right now.
he's so good in that. No, I would definitely say that's my introduction to him. I feel like everyone in that movie, from like Will Ferrell to John C. Reilly to just his dad, the kids, and you know what? Rest in peace. Rest in peace to the Walker Bobby. He was the older kid who wasn't as much as like a lollipop head kid. He died actually, committed suicide. It was very unfortunate, but yeah, sorry to bring it down there, but good movie. I love when they're screaming about anarchy. They don't know what it means. Just fantastic.
Yeah, that is a solid one.
Sorry. Frankie's like eating his own hair and he's having like a hairball experience.
Yeah, it looked like you were giving him a Heimlich.
Did that get caught on camera?
What?
No. You ducked down.
Yeah, no one caught it.
All right.
But for everyone listening, Mike just saved his dog's life.
I don't know. He's still wheezing.
But the Madden goes on.
Oh my God, hold on. I gotta help this
Priorities,
dog.
man.
Yeah.
You can't lose that game. Dogs have 9 lives, right? Nope. No, that's cats.
No. Oh, too late. Shit.
Sam.
So, yeah. Sam.
Problem. If this dog dies on my watch, I'm dead. I gotta go. Like I'm going to Mexico. Like I can't be here.
Oh, is she still in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Nice.
Get out of here, dude.
She's trying to tell you he needs help.
Like I don't know what. Like get the fuck out of here. You just almost choked to death from this. I'm having a conversation.
He wants to be on the pod. Let's get him here because Walrus isn't here.
All right.
Yeah, he's got to replace the Walrus this week.
Get that pup on there.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
All right. What were we talking about, Will Ferrell?
Yeah, I think so, but...
So I would say that line, don't put that curse on me, Ricky Bobby, 100 million times. And
don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Have you seen they have commercials now with the Ricky Bobby shit in them? Like, I forgot what company was doing it, but I saw some commercials where they were doing, like, I think it was, like, the kids driving the cars that were supposed to be Cal and Ricky.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that. I wish they would do what he did. Like, he's like, big red gum. He's like, it's fucking spicy or some shit like that.
You don't chew big red fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey, me and Jeff did that perfectly together.
Oh, it's so good.
Big Red, sponsor of Five Holders.
Yeah, definitely sponsor.
Sponsor, Big Red. You don't chew it, then fuck you.
Exactly.
Use that as their tagline.
It makes sense because when I do chew it, I'm like, ooh, I'm ready to spit some venom.
And I mean, it lasts longer than Juicy Fruit, which isn't saying anything.
Oh, Juicy Fruit longer than like a teenage boy in his fucking first experience.
Dude,
I feel like
it's by far the worst gum. It tastes great initially. I'll give them that, but the taste dies in less than like 30 seconds.
Oh, it's better than. Was Hubba Bubba better? I don't know.
Hubba Bubba was pretty good, but all gum is a fucking sham because you don't get a gum that lasts more than 5 minutes or so.
I don't know.
No matter what.
Extra one has been relatively solid, but then I end up finding myself like I'll just go and keep adding pieces of gum while I'm chewing it.
There's a problem.
Or when I was that shit that was like chew when we were younger. I don't know if they still make
Ballpark chew.
Yeah. It looked like. I mean, I was little at the time, so I didn't put together that like putting a fucking chaw in your mouth. Like,
oh yeah, it's totally dip. Yeah. No, that stuff's still good actually. Yeah, I'll give it to you on that one. That one's still pretty good. But that's another one where you can, if you just put a little bit in, it just sort of disintegrates, and you can just keep putting more in. But you shouldn't do that because you're just like disintegrating gum into your mouth and swallowing that delicious.
What's the worst? You'll shit it out at some point.
Yeah, that's true. It'll come out.
Wait, did you guys
bounce back?
Because you didn't chew, did you, Eric?
No, never. No.
Did you know anyone who do those? Like, one of my friends called Scooby Snack, but like several things were fucking called Scooby Snacks. So he said he would go and put the lip in the gum and then put the gum in his mouth because you couldn't be chewing. Like, you'd get in trouble if you were chewing, like, while he was like playing baseball and stuff.
No, I never had that. I knew a lot of kids when I played in Chicago who would just chew on the bench, and since no one would care. Yeah, I mean our coach was doing it as well, and he had beer behind the bench half the time. So no, I never. I do remember one time though, our whole team, we were at a tournament, and I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere in Chicago, but we were like up to all kinds of shenanigans. We made one of those those sodium bomb things where you get like the plastic bottle. I can't remember the chemicals they put in it, but put something in it, and you like put the cap on real quick, and you throw it in the water, and it blew up everywhere. We made a whole bunch of bullshit, but our first game, we all packed a lip because they were like, "Oh, you gotta do it. It's like the tradition for our first tournament." Every one of us got sick on the bench in the first period. None of us could play the second. We barely made it through the third. We lost like 4-0 probably. Played one more game in the tournament and everyone went home because they were sick.
Dude, yeah, I can't imagine that shit because like I think I chewed like maybe 4 times in my life, and like I remember being on the floor like afterwards sometimes, just like I can't imagine doing that and like trying to play a sport.
It's so dumb.
Once during finals, I was like, I don't get enough nicotine off of cigarettes. Like, I need something more. My buddy chewed. He's like, here, take a digger. And I was like, all right. And then I think I had it in for like 30 seconds. And I was just like, whoa, my head's like, this is not good.
You should just patch and smoke like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
Just wear the patch and smoke a cigarette.
Or The Job with Dennis Leary. He does that when he's quitting. He has like a fake cigarette at first, like so that way he can go out and still like go through the motions because of the physical thing. And he has the patch on too. And then at one point he's like, "Fuck it," and he lights it up and he's like, "Man, I should have been doing this years ago."
Oh fuck me!
You losing in Madden there?
No, again, this dog choking. I think he's choking, but I think he's good now.
Someone traded for Julio and it's really screwed you up.
No, look at.
For anyone listening, they should watch the YouTube video because it's great.
It's fucking him just chewing on shit, and I'm just hoping he's not dying.
Is he a puppy?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Listen, man.
Is this you and Sam testing out if you guys can like handle kids?
Right now, I'd be the worst dad of all time.
Yeah, because your child would be choking and you'd be playing Madden and doing a podcast.
Me playing
You're like, listen here, kid.
and he gives like, give me something. Like, are you dying?
That's the problem. Dogs can't talk.
They can understand though. Walk.
Yeah.
Where do you guys like?
Huh?
I'm like, right?
For humans or for dogs?
For all of us, I feel like it's the same.
Right? For humans, it's right below the sternum.
Right.
What
Like
about-
right below. For dogs, I would believe it's right below the sternum. But first, you want to make sure. See, I learned CPR in high school. You want to make sure the scene is safe. Make sure everything's okay. Then you want to tell someone, call 911. Someone's choking. Then you do that, and then you open the mouth, tilt back the head, check the airway, see if there's any blockages. The scoop. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
see if
You do the
something-
scoop.
Yeah.
See if someone's choking, and if they're not choking and you're not getting air, then you proceed with CPR. Yeah, you slap them.
Should I slap?
Slap him in the face, start shaking him.
Yeah.
What is
Start
wrong?
yelling, "Wake up!"
They're just
What?
said, what, wake up! He just
Yeah, you just blast that song by Rage.
Yeah. Or it's like a Dumb and Dumber. You just grab his legs and do the heave and the hoe with his legs, in and out, in and out, in and out.
it literally didn't work. Kid, work with this. Oh man, I don't know. I think he's okay now. I think he's good. You okay? He's just sitting here. He knows what he did. He also likes to eat fucking cicadas. I found out.
Yeah, but I mean, who doesn't?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like the last time they were around was in high school, and I remember like everyone's video because it was around that like president, but like all those bullshit things for high school or whatever. And everyone's like video was them eating cicadas, and it's like, okay, cool. Like this doesn't.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
What kind of leadership shit? Like, how's that supposed to show leadership?
it wasn't. It was just like, oh man, this guy eats cicadas. I'll vote for him. And it's like, well, but everyone else did, so you kind of lost.
Bitch is gonna get everything done. I'm voting for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have protein in them. People eat grasshoppers and other like insects.
Well, they said it tastes like peanut butter. That's what I heard.
I don't know.
Cicadas?
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
That's the big root. That's the big R going around.
This it's a 17-year delicacy right there.
Ew, dude. Like, them coming out just weirds me out. It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing in the ground for that long? We're 30 minutes into this podcast, by the way, and we have said nothing about hockey, which is on brand.
We didn't talk about any hockey? I feel like no. I guess there's a lot of movies and stuff like
Yeah, we
that.
did
Pop
movies.
culture.
We could talk
Well-
about Slap Shot. That's a great movie.
I'll talk about a little hockey right here because I actually during this week of work, it's end of month, so I'm really busy. So I've been watching the Mighty Ducks series on Disney, the new Mighty Ducks series.
How is it?
Hands down, one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Even with Riley and Jonesy in it.
Who are they?
You don't watch Kenny, do you?
Oh, is that one the coach of the Ducks? I guess
I
probably
don't know. I haven't seen the series.
older. I guess like a guy in his 30s, long blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's the bad coach.
I don't think the other kid's in there. I don't think.
If you take out the cursing, like, I mean, yeah, I hope Shorzy's not in there.
Yeah, it's terrible though. Yeah, it's really bad, and
Balls a tug.
I would say that we're a podcast of you should not watch that show. How bad it is. So leave it at that.
Come up with new ideas, people. Don't just keep on trying to make like old movies into TV shows or sequels fucking decades later. It never ends up being good. Super Troopers 2 sucked, and I love those guys. Like,
Super Troopers sucked. We just talked about Anchorman. Anchorman 2 was trash.
Man, 2 was awful. Yeah.
Zoolander 2 is trash as well.
Did not see Zoolander 2. Did not.
Terrible. Yeah.
And you go into these movies with that mindset of like, all right, I know it's gonna be like a sequel to this movie, so you're ready. Like, all right, it's not gonna be this great movie, and it still fucking bombs, which makes it even worse. Like,
I think if you miss the 10-year mark for a sequel unless it's an animated movie. You should not be able to make a sequel, because at least with animated movies like The Invincibles, like at least that was like, oh, it's an animated movie. Like you can't really miss on an animated movie.
But I don't think that's necessarily the issue of like them looking too old in these sequels. It's just the writing, everything just seemed off about it.
That's the premise of like if you're trying to make a sequel, I feel like you already missed like kind of like your hit points. Like you know what I mean? Like I bet you they didn't really.
I'll say there's an exception to this. Clerks 2. Phenomenal sequel, made significantly later than the first. I don't know the time difference.
It was really good, but the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
but
saying.
you know, I think a lot.
Terrible as like,
it wasn't terrible.
It definitely wasn't. Yeah, it was no Clerks 2.
No, and I feel like a lot of movies, like the ones we've been talking about, like the Anchorman, Zoolanders, Clerks, and everything, it's time and place.
Right.
Like for whatever reason, it was magical at that time in that place. And when you try to recreate it, you can't get that spark again. So,
I'm sure it tanked at the box office because I remember being the only one in the movie theater. Like whoever I went with, it was like just the two of us in the movie theater type of thing to see Clerks 2. I feel like I saw it like 3 times in theaters.
And that's a lot of these movies come out as like cult classics after the fact too. Like in the box office, might not do that well, but it'll be better. I was reading an article about Donnie Darko actually, and how Donnie Darko tanked. It was like I guess it came out around 9/11, and like with the whole plane scene and everything. I guess it came out. It was right before 9/11.
Yeah, but like, what was it? Slayer released "God Hates Us All" on 9/11. Obviously, like. You know, when you release an album, you don't know that. I think Toxicity also came out on 9/11, but...
So, Donnie Darko tanked, though, but the person who wrote Donnie Darko in Donnie Darko 2, I believe it was, they make more money off Donnie Darko 2 than Donnie Darko 1 right now, which is amazing.
So, Donnie Darko came out in 9/11, yes, and it got so bad with the 9/11 stuff that people wanted to cancel Jake Gyllenhaal to that point. I was like, dude, Jake Gyllenhaal is just doing his job. Like they didn't pick 9/11 because they knew terrorist attacks were gonna happen.
Right. That's the thing. It was just a fluke for all this shit. Like 9/11 was a Friday. That's when albums come out. That's when movies get released. Like it is what it is. But
I think there's like a whole.
I just hate his acting in general. So I had other reasons, and I think him and Maggie Gyllenhaal are the same person.
Jake Gyllenhaal for Jake Gyllenhaal. That's different. But don't hate him because it's 9/11 movie.
Right. So I'm pretty sure he did something to cause 9/11.
This guy.
Why not?
I know there was some movie that was supposed to come out around 9/11 about plane terrorist attacks, and like they're not terrorist attacks, but planes are supposed to run into the Twin Towers. I think it was Louis C.K. who wrote it. I may be totally wrong here. I know it was some actor, but he had to scrap the whole thing because that happened, and they had the movie done and everything. I can't remember what it was though.
And then one of the Spider-Mans like pushed back their time and like removed the Twin Towers or some shit.
It was the first one. Like
I mean, it's been remade so many times in so many sequels. I don't know which one. It's hard to keep track.
First one with Tobey Maguire. It's not. Yeah.
I don't get that aspect either. When it's like, all right, we're gonna reboot this series and pick someone who looks exactly like Tobey Maguire to go and reboot it with. It's like, why not go a completely different direction if you're gonna reboot this?
This is what happened. So with superhero movies, I know the most about this shit because this is intriguing to me. To your point of like, oh, why reboot it and have somebody exactly looking like Tobey Maguire?
Right.
And so the first ever Spider-Man movie was under Sony, and then Sony and Marvel kind of had an agreement. And once Sony and Marvel had an agreement, they said, "Tobey, get the fuck out." And they wanted to make the Amazing Spider-Man, which is a totally different comic. And then once Marvel got their hands on Spider-Man, they're like, whatever the fuck you were doing with those other two, we're not going to do. We're going to have this kid from fucking England named Tom Holland to do it. And I'm just like...
Because he looks like him, too. All three of them have been the same, like, stature person throughout. So, yeah, it had to do with the company owning it.
It's definitely about the companies owning it. Because the companies fuck up. That's what happened with Batman too. Every book company is trying to get Batman. Warner Brothers was just like, oh, we have Batman and blah blah blah, this, that, and the third, and then they just like never really came.
And Michael Keaton like went on one of those late night shows and started talking shit on one of them, and then he got blackballed, and that's why he wasn't into anything for a while, and that's when he lost Batman.
But it was like George Clooney, and then
Val Kilmer was before him. They were terrible.
Oh wow!
Was George Clooney the one with nipples on the back?
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as the
Mr. Freeze.
Whoever loves puns, that's the movie to watch. There were so many fucking puns in that.
Yes.
There were so many great actors too, and like they had.
It was what's her face? It was Poison Ivy, Uma
Thurman.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who Bane was, but like that's the way I think of Bane, and I think it's funny like when there's that new version or whatever where he's like,
oh, Tom Hardy,
and it just like, and that one is like just press this button and he just becomes like Colossus type of thing,
Back, I'm just like the worst movie of all time. Who Green?
I love all the like memes about it too, that like we're cheering for this billionaire versus like these people who are trying to like help keep the earth cool and repopulate the plants.
Yeah. That was the Tim Burton one, right? Batman and Robin?
He did the first one, maybe first two.
Who?
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton did one. One.
I feel like he might have done two just because of DeVito. That's the only reason I'm thinking of it.
Right, yeah.
The one with the Penguin and Jack Nicklaus as the Joker.
Yeah, he was the Joker, and then two was Catwoman and Penguin.
That was before the Mr. Freeze one.
Yeah. Mr. Freeze was like 4. And then 3 was Jim Carrey and because the other guy was like a serious actor. Fuck. He's the Men in Black guy, the older one.
Oh, Tommy Lee Jones. He was Two-Face.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones was Two-Face, yeah.
Jim Carrey was like so excited to meet him, and like he's like, I don't care for your antics. Like
it's so funny when they pair like a serious actor with like an actual comedian like Ben Stiller or Mike Myers or anything like that. Like Ryan Reynolds is not or any of that shit, but those guys are comedians and they want to get the laughs. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
right.
You're the best actually at that. A serious actor with a comedian. Philip Seymour Hoffman with Ben Stiller in Along Came Polly. That was actually pretty funny. I thought of him as like
a solid movie.
Mm-hmm.
Solid movie. I thought it was great using him and Ben Stiller.
I thought also in fucking Anger Management with Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
That's good pair as well.
Yeah.
Good pair as well.
I think
the guy.
Like when you do superhero movies and you need, I mean, the Riddler is supposed to be wacky. So I mean, Jim Carrey was perfect.
Have they redone the Riddler?
No, not yet.
Again, with this time the dude from Twilight as Batman, Robert Pattinson, and then some weird. I don't know if you guys ever seen like any of his movies, but this weird kid is playing the Riddler.
Oh, really? There's a new one coming out?
Kid.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know his name, but if you saw a picture, you ever seen The Girl Next Door?
The one with Fanouf's wife?
Yes.
Yeah, of course I saw that. She's hot as... This is the only reason I finished the first season of 24.
Paul Danos?
Yeah.
Paul Danos?
Guy with the glasses in that movie, yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who you're talking. This dude is, yeah. What the fuck has he been in? A bunch of weird shit.
Hot actresses who have come along since Alicia Cuthbert, so.
Did you ever he was the deaf kid in There Will Be Blood.
I never saw There Will Be Blood.
Is that a Tarantino movie?
No.
I don't think so. No, I think it's something else.
Pauly Shore directed it.
It is a Pauly Shore movie.
Listen, the only Pauly Shore movie to talk about is which one.
Biodome.
Biodome, of course. Biodome. No doubt.
Oh, second, and that's it.
Is which one?
Encino Man with Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, his best work.
That's probably what most people know. That's the first time I saw him, and I was like, I gotta watch Biodome. Everybody talked about Biodome, and I could not believe my eyes.
It's amazing. It's one of the best movies. Whenever I would get sick when I was younger, my mom would always go to Blockbuster and bring me random movies. One time she brought me Biodome, and I was like, what is going on here? And I was like in elementary school, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. Another time she brought me What's Eating Gilbert Grape. That movie, I was like, what? I literally told my mom, I was like, what's going on? Like, what is this?
Interesting movies.
This is fucking crushing, I think.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Fantasia on VHS. Because the music would just put me out.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know you watched that movie.
Yeah. I mean, it was my sick movie. Like, when I was trying to fall asleep and you're like, feel like shit. Because it would just knock me out. Because it was boring. And it was just musical.
2 movies that I fell asleep to all the time. Space Jam, and then this movie called Ed. You'd buy it from...
And it's with the monkey.
Yes!
And it's the guy from Friends, right?
Yes.
The baseball one?
Whatever, LeBlanc, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that is fucking crazy. I say that every time, and everybody's
I love my monkey movies, so I've seen it. I don't think it's the best movie with a monkey in it. Dunstan Checks In ranks higher in my mind.
Oh, Dunstan Checks In is the creme de la creme. Creme de la creme.
That was the movie we'd watch every Friday night, like after school. It's like, let's put this shit on.
Can't wait to be running free in a hotel with my monkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Life and Zach and Cody, you guys don't know what cool is with hotels.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that Jeff knew what I was talking about. So many people have no idea what.
I have a feeling like we probably watched on one of those ones with like baseball. I remember like when going on like those fucking chartered buses and it would just be like the same baseball movies over, Angels in the Outfield, and like every baseball movie you could think of at some point like came across the screen, I feel like.
Yeah. Dan, Outfield, Kid. Those movies are quote unquote classics because it's just baseball movies.
That one about the White Sox or what they call them, the Black Sox when they were cheating.
He like got Tommy
8 Men Out.
He was 8 Man Out with Charlie Sheen about the Black Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Actually the White Sox, but because they did a cheating scandal, they were called the Black Sox in history.
What was the one with the kid who has the crazy throwing arm?
Yep, Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
And then The Natural, where the guy like gets hurt or whatever, and ends with him like hitting that home run into the lights because the guy was like gonna kill him or whatever at the end. So he blinds the whole stadium.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that. I think I know what you're talking about. I remember the one with Dennis Quaid, and that's the one that I think it's called The Kid.
The Rookie, I think.
Rookie?
Was that where he's like?
That's The Rookie, yeah.
Like going and playing baseball.
Yeah.
Tommy John surgery that like.
Oh.
Google it. Google it.
What movie?
I brought up the goods earlier. Google us. No. Why won't you Google it? No.
The movie with the kid that makes the Cubs because he had like some weird surgery that gave him like fucking an arm.
I thought that was Rookie of the Year.
It's Rookie of the Year, yeah.
No, one Rookie. And what was that movie?
The Rookie was the Dennis Quaid movie where he was an old man being a rookie. And the one where in the previews, I just remember him throwing the pitch where the speedometer thing.
Yeah, on the road.
Yeah.
Half Men in it when he was young.
It's got you're talking about the right movie. It's got a bunch of idiots in it. Yeah. The kid from 2.5 Men when he's really young. He looks like a child, yeah. Yeah, the Rookie, yeah.
That propelled him to 2.5 Men.
Maybe. If we're going to talk about baseball movies, though, we got to talk about Hardball. Keanu Reeves.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Oh, Jeff, you should watch that movie.
Number one movie that made me cry, to be honest. Like,
yeah, same here. I would say hands down.
I won't tell you the moment, Jeff, but you're going to cry. Because maybe not. I don't know if you're a crier, but...
I don't like Keanu Reeves, so if he gets killed or something in the movie, I'm probably just going to laugh.
No, he just continues to fuck up nonstop.
Ja.
No, it's a good one. That definitely hardball. You should watch. You haven't seen it, yeah.
And Sandlot. Think of that Chris Matthews show.
Oh yeah, hardball. Chris Matthews.
Yeah, the Sandlot was solid. I remember like watching that even like in hockey camps and stuff.
Oh yeah, everyone watched that shit. Yeah, it was great.
Again, another sequel that came out way behind, and
I didn't even know they did a sequel, and I'm happy I didn't.
Straight to DVD, and it was and it had girl, and it was like, I hate to be like an old man, but the Sandlot was all about boys playing baseball and not girls and guys, and it was girls and guys, and there was a romantic like scene. I'm like, this is stupid, and they had the same dog. It was like maybe it was like the dog's like son was the new dog. And then, like, they had James Earl Jones in this one, too, going, like, this happened again, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Was Dennis Leary in that one, too?
Nah, I wish.
Because he made some Dumbo drops of movies.
Oh!
See what I did there?
That was a good one, Jeff. That was a good one.
Operation Dumbo drop.
Another classic.
Anyways, but...
Should we even do hockey talk, or...
I know I was the only one who made it up till 2:10 in the morning when the Jets swept there. When I texted the group the picture of the broom or whatever.
Yeah, dead asleep. But I saw.
It's just crazy to me, like that through 3 overtimes, like especially Ehlers and McDavid, just the fucking speed that they have through playing almost 2 complete games that they were still going off, and fucking Darnell Nurse. His 3rd all-time in minutes played in a game. I think he finished with 58 something, and then the next day fucking flew home and his baby was born. It's like glad that he waited until after the game finished.
That's great. 58 minutes in a game.
Yeah,
amazing.
During the first overtime, he missed like 4 minutes of the entire overtime. He played a 4.5 minute shift, went off for 40 something seconds, and then was right back on. Like it just reminded me of Pentoni when like we would play adult league, where he just would be out there the whole fucking time and never want to get up. It was just like a 4.5 minute shift is ridiculous in the NHL, and then to do it
that is insane.
Still have the legs to keep going for the rest of the game, because there were a couple times like with Pionk, like you could see he was out of like breath at times where he was struggling to skate, but then there were a couple plays in front of the net that he just like was able to pull off these great defensive plays. And I mean, it just, that defense is built to be a defensive defense and not to score.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess in theory, if your offense can do it, then that works out.
Yeah, I want to give it to you guys. Like fucking coming in with the brooms, it's pretty crazy. I don't think anyone expected that to happen against Edmonton.
I mean, I picked a sweep. I just picked it the wrong way. And
yeah.
Interesting stat I saw afterwards was the last 3 MVPs their team didn't win a single playoff game. Kazoo, McDavid, then Kucherov with Tampa Bay getting swept, and then what's his face? The Draisaitl.
Yeah. Interesting. That's an interesting stat. Huh.
In the future, if you know who's going to do it, pick them to get swept.
Yeah, pick them to get swept.
And the finale just ended in Pittsburgh. They have been eliminated from playoffs in 6 games.
Oh, okay. I have the Florida and Tampa game on. So
I wanted to see how it ended. I got
some empty netters there.
Series right as well, with the 6 Islanders in 6 and Bruins in 5. You know, my only miss was a big one because fucking Winnipeg, Edmonton, I had going to the Final Four.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. It's so surprising, but.
And I just feel like this is not what the NHL wanted, where you lost Ovechkin, Crosby, and McDavid all in the first round, and it's like, okay, well, go Colorado maybe with McKinnon. Like, I'm trying to think of the and Toronto, I guess, with Matthews, like
in Tampa, maybe Stamkos and Kucherov, but even they're lesser so. I'd say Matthews over, because
right.
we'll have to talk about we'll talk about now, of course, Tavares injury, terrible thing that happened. He seems to be doing okay now, which is really good, but he took like basically a knee straight to the face,
and that was like unavoidable by
totally,
yeah. Because it was Corey Perry, where you're like, well, this guy does dirty hits, so like,
yeah.
One thing that I thought was pretty like cool about the whole thing. Oh, sorry, not cool. I was joking, but
just like your dog.
Just
Learn from you, Michael.
And it's fine because nobody's here to pick up the pieces. But even though it seemed like it was an accident, but it's just because it's Corey Perry that everybody was just like, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to fight. So they did do that. They took care of it, and, like, they defended JT's, like, honor, kind of. It's just like, so.
It was the right move. I mean, their head clearly wasn't in it because, that's the only loss they've had in the series right now.
Yeah.
But, the thing that, like, that just, I think it was amplified by it being an empty stadium, though, too, because you could hear everything with him in that. And then when, like, they tried stabilizing his neck and were, like, holding him up and then he started seizing, like, that was the scariest fucking shit.
Like, it looked like they were holding a baby's head. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, but he, like, put the thumbs up and everything, which was good. And that was a scary moment. He could not lift his head up. And I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, when they pulled him up, you can see the blood on the visor, and like his legs were back under him, and they're trying to put him on his back, sort of. Yeah, that was a very intense scene right there. But I just saw that after they won their last game, I believe is what they won their last game.
In after they won Game 3, they FaceTimed him, and then they won Game 4.
Yeah.
And he's released a statement with his wife now too, so it sounds like he's doing better. There's not a chance he'll be back for the playoffs.
I think the crazy feel bad for Perry because everybody's like probably.
What? I can't hear you at all.
Okay,
can you hear him, Jeff? No, couldn't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
Good.
Yeah, you're good.
Brought to you by Sprint. I don't remember what the guy was from.
Guys on some other level tonight. I can't walk them because it's raining like cats and dogs outside.
Maybe that's why he wants to go outside.
Montreal, like, scratching Caulfield and what's that other rookie's name, or the young guy, it begins with a K. They brought him into Game 2. He scored their only goal. Like, they were going with old people, and I was watching something with Boudreau, and he's like, well, you start the veterans, and, like, those young guys have to earn their spot. And he's like, guys like Corey Perry are, like, really good. And it's like, then he said that, and then that happened, and it's like, all right, well, Boudreau, what you're like?
Yikes! What do you know that we don't?
Mm-hmm.
Was that on?
Yeah, it was.
He kept talking about how he draws penalties too, and it's like, man, Corey Perry's been known to take some of the dumbest, like, cheap penalties. Like,
oh, he has the walk of shame from the Winter Classic or whatever it was.
Like, what, a couple minutes into the game too?
Yeah, yeah. He didn't even break a sweat. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks though, the whole situation with Tavares, but he seems to be doing okay. And they said like he didn't really have concussion, or I mean he had concussion, but it wasn't anything bad.
The biggest thing was like or like his face bones and everything were good, like nothing structurally damaged. Probably a sprain, but nothing like too crazy. And then the concussions, and then obviously they have to take precaution. So will we see him in the next game? Probably not, but
I think he'll be out the rest of this season. But he might next year he'll be coming back, I'm sure. Man, your dog is all about you right now, huh?
Sam to take care of him while I do this. I just gave him a treat, but he just won't calm the fuck down.
Man, he wants more, of course. You know how it goes.
I know. He learned from somebody with, like, his food, so.
Exactly.
Unbelievable. But once Jeff gets back, we'll call it a podcast.
Yeah, well, I think we should. The Walrus isn't here. We need to have him here. He conducts the news. We're off topic. We're talking about movies, talking about pop culture, whatever we want. So when Walrus is here, we'll cover the whole past few weeks because
the dumbest series though has to be the Florida one, just in terms of coaching. Like after this, Coach Q should not be a nomination for Coach of the Year. Because how the fuck after game 2 do you not dress Spencer Knight? Like, even if you went back to Bob Dreiger, whatever the fuck his name is, should not have been dressed. Like, they could have done so much better if they started Knight earlier. I mean, the way he played the last game, I mean, he's giving up a goal here again, but I don't know. I feel like that was a dumb move on their part and may cost them the series. Because now they have to win these 2 games in a row.
There's been a lot of dumb coaching this series, a lot of these series.
Well, so. After where we're at in the playoffs, I don't feel confident at all about Carolina. I think that Tampa Bay is going to beat Carolina now. So if Carolina can even get out of Nashville, I don't understand how they lost those 2 games.
It's going to be the winner of the Colorado-Vegas series and the second round, and they're just going to win the whole thing.
You think the winner is going to be the winner of the Colorado-Vegas series for the Cup?
I think so. I think it's not the most hot take of all time. It's probably on par. But I mean, how the both of them are playing right now, I don't see them letting up. I feel like they're having the best goalies. Right now, their goalie play is great. Their goal scoring is great. They have not broken a sweat against the teams they're playing now. So I feel like
Minnesota's not really getting shots, though. I mean, I think they finished that last game with 14 shots for the game.
Also, can we get Minnesota out of the playoffs? They're always in the playoffs, and they're always just a disappointment. Just get them out.
That was under Boudreaux. That's why I kind of thought they had a chance this year, and Krill finally got one, but these rookies have slowed down a little bit in the playoffs, it seems like.
I mean, with no real adjustments from the bubble, I guess you can't really say anything. So, I in my personal opinion, I think it's the winner of those 2 just because of how the goalie play is going, and then it's going to be Tampa probably from the East. But now that everybody's getting
but it isn't an East-West; it's a reseeding when it gets down to the 4. So, in theory, you could have an All-West championship or an All-East championship.
I'm going to say Tampa. I'm going to say Tampa.
I think Colorado's going to pull it out. I think they're rolling. They're steam rolling. And Grubauer in net, he seems like he's locked in. So
a part of me was questioning if they were going to try to avoid the sweep just to go and help Kadri out. I mean, those games weren't entertaining to watch unless you're a Colorado fan because they just kicked the shit out of the Blues in every game. It took 5 minutes for them to score every game.
I think as if you had Corey Perry, if you have Kadri, you expect a suspension in the playoffs. So it's just you build that into the beginning of the year. So
last year was a fluke that he didn't get suspended at any point in the playoffs. But it makes a difference having that depth at center, and that's clearly what Winnipeg tried doing, having 5 centers on their roster right now, but they don't have any defense. So it'll be interesting to see that series with Toronto. I still think Boston's going to beat the Islanders here in the second.
It's hard to say. Boston's playing real well.
Boston's playing real well. Islanders are playing good enough that they can beat them.
The Islanders goalie situation is weird to me. I was surprised that it's Samsonov or whoever the fuck it is now. That they're not playing Varley or they're not playing Varley's
in the Islanders. Okay. Varley. Yeah.
Yeah. That they're not playing him. I mean, the issue with the Penguins is when they gave up that 5th goal, it was you can't play your backup because the backup didn't play really all season. DeSmith is hurt, and it was a nobody who was going to be there, and they weren't going to turn to him. They were sticking with Jari, who I just don't get it. I love the fact that Fleury keeps doing well, and the Penguins keep sucking, and then for whatever reason, these rookie goalie or these young goalies who've come in to replace the next goalie all have weak gloves. And I just don't get how your glove, like top glove side, isn't the strongest aspect of your game as a goalie. Like, that's where your glove is. I get low side, but like up here, come on, man. That's like baseball player not being able to catch.
You watch college hockey more than anyone I know. Is there a reason? Is that like a game thing? Like, is that a game?
I don't know. They've had the same goalie coach with Murray and with Yari, and that's been their issue with both of them. I mean, that turnover, and that's another thing that like we've seen in the playoffs. In overtime, goalies have made stupid plays that have cost their team the game. You guys saw it with the Caps. The Penguins, the same thing, where Yari went and passed it right to the other team, and then right over the glove. Like, I don't know what it is. If it's a mental lapse when you hit period 4 or 5 that you just are all of a sudden making stupid plays.
I mean,
nothing.
Yeah. It's like you got Zach's mic this week.
Yeah.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So I said with Sammy came off the health and safety protocol, and then it was double overtime. So obviously he's just gassed. But the funny thing is, people like you saw Ovi say something in Russia. Apparently, he says don't fucking sleep tonight or some shit like that. And I'm like, dude, easy, Ovi. Like the kid did 40 saves. Like he's better than fucking Craig Jenkins Anderson over there. So
I don't know. I mean, Anderson went 1-0 in the playoffs.
I've heard a few different translations of what Ovi said, but I guess no one really knows because you got lip read Russian. But yeah, that was a shitty turnover, and it was. I mean, it was as much as his fault as it was a defense. It just wasn't communication.
About that too, with who he was mad about in that, because the defender tailing, I don't know who. I keep screwing up who scored it, like Smith or it was some generic.
Yeah.
Scored it for Boston. But, like, yeah, if the defender played that differently, like, it would have been an easy pass for Samsonov to him, like...
Yeah, it was just big miscommunication.
Right.
Like, the Caps beat up their old... That's why they're not in the series. They're not in the cup anymore.
Now, apparently, everyone whose name isn't Ovechkin or Backstrom is on the trading block. Or they'll listen to offers for the players.
And I saw...
Kuznetsov is the only one that they're actively shipping. As far
as
I think right now, can you guys hear me? I want to make sure. Okay. I feel like it's time to just rebuild because like this team has run its course. Like we've only won one cup with this team. Like these groups of guys. Like I think right now there is no more excuses. Like it's the end is near. Just might as well just redo everything and see what he can get. Yes, Ovi should be a Cap for life, and I get that and all that, but you need to find younger players to put around him. He's going to be...
His contract is up this year. Like, how do you convince someone like that to go and stay if you're going to say we're going to rebuild all of a sudden? Like, I feel like he wants another cup. Or does he just go back to the KHL at this point and call it quits?
But that's what he said, right? He said it's Caps or Russia. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, well, he recently he's been referring to the Caps next season as we, so it seems like he'll be around.
Right.
But originally he said he wants to only play for the Caps, and then he wants to retire with Dynamo in the KHL because that was his first team. He wants to retire with his first team. But he's been talking about too. He's said he's looking for the Gretzky record. So.
Wait, if the Caps go and say we're looking to rebuild, I mean, yeah, the record's nice and everything, but like, I think he wants another cup. Like,
yeah, I think the Caps have a pretty good core though. I mean, if they keep around Oshie, he's been there. He'll be there for a while. Backstrom.
The issue, and Oshie's recently said he wants to end his career as a Cap as well.
Yeah,
but like now, if you trade away Kuznetsov before this whole thing happens, there's still the expansion draft. Like then. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess if you're looking at it as you weren't going to protect him anyway, it's just, I don't know who they're protecting.
I don't know who would want to take Kuznetsov right now. He looked like crap. He got COVID twice this season.
I don't know if he got it that second time. I kind of felt like the Caps just put him on the list to go in.
He came out and said he got it, though.
Oh, okay.
And But he was one of the first people on the cap. He got vaccinated, then he got it, which I don't know.
Yeah,
He must, I don't know.
that-
He must
that
have
happened
been
with
something
the
stupid.
Yankees, too.
Yeah.
Like,
So
COVID breakout. No one knew they had it because they were all asymptomatic. But you have to take the test being an athlete.
yeah.
Yeah, so you don't spread it.
I think he has locker room and just issues on the ice and off the ice. So I don't think he'll be around much longer. But like you said, who do you protect then? Do you leave him unprotected in hope that the Kraken takes him?
Well, because that's kind of what I thought they were going to do initially. But now that they said like they're actively trying to trade him, it's like, I mean, I guess it wouldn't change anything. They probably have in mind who the players are that they were going to protect.
Yeah,
it's on the outside anyway. But
it's been a whole crazy. This first round has been a shit show for the sweeps that going on and the teams that are being beat. It's been
I don't know, man.
crazy.
I did pretty well with my picks. Like,
oh no, yeah, but I wasn't expecting the Jets to sweep.
The Jets are the only one I picked wrong, and I'm surprised that they swept them, and they held McDavid to 1 goal. I think he had 3 assists in game 2. I mean, game 3 was fucking ridiculous. The fact that they came back, I was about like, I mean, it's the playoffs. I'm not going to turn off the game, but I was talking to my friend, and I was just like, this game's fucking over. And then they scored those 3 goals in the last 5 minutes to send it to overtime, and fucking Ehlers in his first game back with the game winner.
It's crazy.
But yeah, 2 games of shutting out Draisaitl and McDavid is absurd after the season that they had.
Really is. But I know a lot of people are saying that they came into this series sort of gassed almost. Like, although they looked good, they just weren't getting the luck and they weren't getting the bounces they would hope for. Which,
well, we'll see with the next one because Toronto has more players. Like, that's the thing is Edmonton's got those 2. I mean, they do have other, like Nuge, like in that game in the second overtime, Nuge had a perfect pass over to Cassian for a backdoor goal, and Cassian blew it and missed it. But they do have other ones where like the Leafs, Nylander scored every game, and like you got Matthews and Marner to worry about as well. And old man Jumbo finally got a fucking goal. Oldest Toronto Maple Leaf to score.
Jumbo!
Oh, man. But we'll see what happens these next series. I mean, at this point, we're all talking and then see what happens. But thank you guys for rocking with us. We are the 5 holers. The Walrus tonight, but he had family things to do, so we'll keep on keeping on with us.
He cut you out of it. Apparently, you weren't important enough in the family.
I guess.
Or is this his new family?
This is him. 2 kids and the wife, not me.
Oh, I was talking to the brother.
Oh, me?
Cut out of the family thing. But
no.
Yeah, I guess I keep forgetting that he's married.
He's married now. What he's Ed whatever. The married with children.
Yep. I see Zach getting home and just.
Ed Bundy? Ed Bundy?
Al.
Al Bundy? Ted Bundy? What is it?
Close to. I mean, I saw that they're also making a new Ted Bundy movie.
Oh, yeah.
Enough of Ted. Like, again, give us one Panzeram movie.
Just one. One goddamn Panzeram movie. Yes, please.
Like, Tom Hardy or even Mac now, like he's just gotten fucking ripped. Like that's why I'm kind of interested to see what happens with this new storyline for season whatever they're at
15.
15, yeah. Because he's been during the pandemic or whatever. He got jacked because he's definitely loves being shirtless on Mythic Quest from time to time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to use that. You got to use
exactly. That. So I assume it's part of the storyline, like how he got fat for the story.
Yeah. We'll be on the lookout for that new Ted Bundy movie as well. That's another song.
No, not a chance. None of us will watch that.
Thank you guys for rocking with us again. You guys saw Frankie. He was subbing in for us. But I am your captain as always, Michael, the garbage disposal Shanuti. Always to our back is the Walrus. We'll see him next time. But to the right, as he likes to say, he's a scrapper. He will look at you straight in the face and say, "Want to go?" Drop the mitts. Jeff, the Reverend Snyder, and the guy who will always back him up and says, "I'm not going to have that chicken." Eric, the Red Falcon Vincent. Shout out to our sponsor, Smooth My Balls. It is the best ball trimmer out there. Don't care what it says. Look at Jeff's face.
Get the clam clippers for your female friends.
Female friends as well. So use 4CR20 to get 20% off. 4, the number 4, CR, the number 20, and you'll get a free bag of weed because we actually did not know that was going to happen.
It's only an eighth. Apparently, we got the amount wrong last time. When I ordered my last one, yeah, they only gave me an eighth, and I was kind of pissed off. So
totally got shorted. Yeah.
Got shorted.
Yeah. I actually waited, and it was even less than that. So come on, guys.
We were better.
Smooth my balls, people.
We were better than that. Than like what's it? They give you like caprese salad, and you think it's weed.
Oh, from The Office.
Oregano.
Oregano.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was from The Office. I was trying to think of what Sunny episode you were referring to.
Usually always.
Nah.
I'll bring
it usually is.
But follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook on the Five Holers podcast. Follow Four Corners Radio, fourcorners.studio for your bookings, as well as follow the rest of our podcast crew. We're an Always Sunny podcast as well, but
we got a new one.
I guess Always Sunny is always sponsored on us. Seriously, so
yeah.
Anybody know the last?
Yeah. Why go bar down when you get to hit that 5-hole? Aim low, boys.
Hey!
Nice, yeah.
Woo!